Na 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 na. Wait. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Giants. Get out of CBP. You don't belong here. You're terrible. We're probably going to sweep you tomorrow. What's going on, everybody? Eric, also known as Shard here, back again with another post-game show breakdown. Phillies win tonight, 5-4. Very, very, very close win there in the ninth inning. Almost lost that. Gave up a first home run. I believe he was a rookie. Could be wrong, but we still came out with a win. And joining me tonight, none other than Dolt Holland himself.
How are you?
I'm good, man. I celebrated my mom's birthday tonight, so I'm a little woozy. We'll just put it that way.
Well, happy birthday to Mama Shard, like I texted you earlier today. Good wishes. I'm glad to see that the Philadelphia Phillies had the same in mind. That was an entertaining as hell game. Obviously, you guys know for me, as I like to tease myself, El Amateur. The coolest part of the game for me was I turned it on probably, I want to say it was maybe the second inning. So not too late, not too early. And I threw it on when Brandon Marsh is midway throughout an interview, which I think is so cool that they're doing now. But at the same time, as a player, I could see how they could hate it, is what I'm trying to say. I thought Brandon Marsh handled it really, really well because he basically said, hey, let me make this play, and then I'll answer this question. Alec Boehm asked him a question then about a song, and then they ask him a final question. They say, Brandon Marsh, if there was any kind of a rock band that you and a couple other players could create, who would it be? And he's like, oh, cool, easily. Garrett Stubbs, Shorbs, and Pache. And they're like, okay, do you have a name for this? Staying Loose, Staying Sexy, I believe was the team name. I love it. Stay loose, stay sexy. That's the theme of this team right now. You can't sum it up better than that. They're playing good baseball. They look comfortable. I watched a post-game show last night. My colleague and partner, Eric, did a great job, and with Brendan as well, but just highlighting how they got off to such a great start last night, and everybody hit last night. It feels like the Phillies right now, everybody's stepping up to the plate when they need to, except for a couple certain people. But for the most part, they're playing phenomenal baseball. And as a fan, it's great to watch.
Yeah, and like I texted earlier, which was great to see. And I'm pulling up, the hitting stats here. But I think what's great to see compared to last year is that last year when they would score 10 plus runs in a game, because last night they scored, 14, 15 runs. Last year when they would do that, they would come out the next day looking like absolute crap. And I said that last night, and I don't think they did that. They did that tonight. They kind of came out looking hot. They came out in the first couple innings looking like they were ready to go. I mean, in the third inning, they had a 4-run inning. So, I mean, it's definitely a change of pace from last season. And this just feels like a completely different team. They feel like they're finally clicking on all cylinders and getting it together. And it just feels like the chemistry's there too. I mean, like Sam Nelson said here, this team is unbelievable right now. They feel like, the connections are there. They're finally hitting. They're finally being that team that we've known that they could be for the last couple of years. And it's just amazing to watch.
It's been entertaining as hell. And it's entertaining as hell when your team is winning, when your team is getting the job done. And with Trey Turner's injury, I think a lot of people were kind of afraid as well. Like, not only about how will it affect this team, but one thing I think a lot of people kind of overlook and forget about is, sorry, let me just fix this lighting real quick. How will it affect the mojo of the team? That's a big thing too. How will it affect the whole team vibe? Garrett Stubbs would know a lot about that. But in all seriousness, losing a guy like that, baseball's a big momentum sport, a big sport. I think that has to do with consistency, batting orders, things like that. So taking a guy out and throwing another guy in, it can be scary. But even in my notes today, I forget who's replacing Trey in the lineup, but he's been doing.
It's JT. So they moved JT up to second, which I don't even think he's playing bad. I mean, I feel like honestly, in my opinion, with this lineup and with the guys you have, you can kind of plug and play wherever you need to in the lineup. I mean, there's really no spots where you can plug somebody in and they do bad. I mean, granted, Nick Castellanos is Nick Castellanos, but I mean, I don't think you take somebody and put them in the 9 hole and they're going to do bad. You take somebody that was previously in the 9 hole and you move them up, they're not going to do bad as well. I think the only bad thing, and we're going to get into this now, is Walker. I think Walker just needs to walk. I honestly hate this fucking dude. Like, he's just absolutely terrible. And like Sam Nelson said here, we're getting into it now. What are my thoughts on Walker through 2 starts? Booty cheeks. He's terrible. He's terrible. I mean, like, I just don't understand why. And we're gonna get into this in a couple of minutes because it's a topic. But like the whole situation with Turnbull, I feel like Turnbull in the long run kind of got the short end of the stick. I feel like he looked absolutely dominant, and now you're telling him, oh well, you're just gonna be in the bullpen. We'll use you when we need you. You'll just be a reliever. Which when is that going to be? I mean, you have so many guys that are relievers right now. You have Soto, you have Dominguez, you have Hoffman, Strom. You have that guy you just called up, and I can't think of his name. It was after Pinto, but that's what I mean. I mean, I can't even think of the name because you have so many guys that are relievers right now. So it's like, why would you send Turnbull down knowing that he may or may not be a reliever here in the next couple games? I just think it's absolutely stupid. Taijuan Walker, looking at his stat lines the last 2 games, April 28th against the Padres, he went 6.1 innings pitched, had 8 hits, 6 runs, 6 earned runs. He let up 2 home runs. He walked 2, had 4 strikeouts for an 8.53 ERA. And then this is only his second start of the season, May 5th against the Giants. 6.1 innings pitched, 5 hits, 3 runs, 3 earned runs, let up 1 home run, walked 1, had 7 strikeouts. So, I mean, like, strikeout-wise, he's doing well. It's not like he's doing terrible strikeout-wise, but, I mean, even with strikeouts, you can strike out a whole bunch of guys, but if you're still letting up hits, I mean, at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. So his ERA right now is a 6.39. So overall, season-wise, I mean, he's not doing great. Sorry, the 6.39 was for this game. His overall ERA was 8.53. So he's absolutely, completely terrible. And like Sam said here, I agree with you on Turnbull. And like I was saying earlier during the game, I think Rob keeps guys in too long. I don't think that Rob kind of plays the decision of keeping guys in or out correctly. There's really rare times where, you should keep a guy in. For granted, that Ranger start a couple weeks ago. I mean, Ranger was dominant, so he kept him in. I agree with that. But Walker's just been shaky, and I don't think you should keep him in for as long as you kept him in.
Yeah, you pretty much took the words out of my mouth. I was a little bit confused tonight as I was watching the game when Walker came out with the way that everybody talks about him in our group chat, why people were standing up clapping for Walker when he came out of the game tonight.
I hated that. I hated it.
So it's a little bit perplexing to people like me who don't really know what to believe, because it's like, okay, does this guy suck? Which, yeah, clearly he does. But it's also at some point on management, in my opinion, too. And you highlighted that at Philly Rob earlier as well. But at some point, I almost blame it on management just as much as I blame it on the player. Like, at some point, you got to know as a manager, like, okay, this guy's about to fold and I got to take him out. That's part of baseball, I feel like. So I'm partially frustrated with Philly Rob, but I'm mostly frustrated from Philly Rob at the first place because I agree with you from the whole start. Turnbull should be out there. He earned it, and he did everything that the team needed him to do. He came in necessarily not as a starter, I think, and he did great, delivered, played great baseball. And then Philly Rob's like, okay, well, here's Walker now. I think I'm kind of done with you. And that's going to burn you down the line. If Walker ends up playing like shit, which he is right now, unfortunately, and if Walker ends up being a loss, that's going to burn you because mentally and as a team too, chemistry wise, you're pulling out a guy who's hot. So not only are you going to throw off his mentality, his ego, all of that, you're going to throw off the whole rotation too. This could have drastic effects. I really think it could. And the Phillies are not playing bad at all right now. They're doing everything that they're supposed to. So yeah, man, I'm with you. I don't have anything else to say about that except get your shit together, Philly Rob.
Yeah, and I mean, Sam, you're going off the comments here, but
We love it. Thank you, Sam.
Sam, I mean, like, I agree with you. If you ask Walker to give you 7 innings per start, you're begging for trouble. Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. He's gone 6.1 the last 2 games. So I mean, like, can't really make a solid judgment because he's only started 2 games. But looking at previous starts, I want to just see. It's not coming up, but whatever. But yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with you. I think that Rob needs to kind of figure out, okay, this pitcher can go 7, 8. This pitcher can go 4, 5, 6. I think we're at that point of the season where Rob really needs to sit down and be like, okay, Walker, you're going to go 6 innings. After Walker, it might be Strom for 7, 8. And then after that, it's going to be Jose, you close out. I'm really getting tired of every night it's somebody different, and I can't it stresses me out because I can't rely on one guy to come in and close. It's like, oh God, this guy's coming in to close. Like here goes the game. Shit might hit the fan. But I mean, like, I think if before the trade deadline, and I think the trade deadline's in like July, so I think we have a while. I think they just need to get a closer, and Brendan kind of said that last night. But I have a question for you, and I kind of want your opinion. Brendan said this last night, and I want to see if you agree with Brendan. How would you feel about not a 6-man rotation, but kind of it being a competition in a sense between Walker, Sanchez, and Turnbull? So it's like, whoever has the best outing or start, you kind of put them more in the rotation, and then whoever has the shittier start, you kind of pull them back a little bit.
I love that idea. I'm all for competition, especially right now. The earlier in the season that you have more competition, I think it's only going to benefit the Philadelphia Phillies. You want to see what you have in these players when high stakes are involved. Competition breeds great players, which also in the playoffs is what you want. You want these guys to be primed, ready. So I'm all for competition, especially when it comes up to Walker. Give Turnbull a shot. Like I said, it's only going to make everybody better. It's only going to be a good thing. And you're also going to know what you have with these guys down the line when you get to the postseason. You're going to know who's going to fold. You're going to know who's going to be reliable. And you're going to know who's going to want to perform to, show you something. There's certain characteristics in players that are not teachable. And that's where I get afraid with this headline, my man, that it's goodbye Turnbull, because I don't want it to be that, but unfortunately could be.
Yeah, again, I mean, we're kind of beating a dead horse here, and I don't want to beat the dead horse, but yeah, I mean, like, I really hope that this isn't the end of Turnbull in a starting position. I really hope that they kind of take a step back here in the next couple of weeks and say, okay, these guys are doing great. These guys need to take a step back. We're going to change things and then go on from here. But I mean, I think Turnbull, before they sent him down, he had a 1.32. So, I mean, he had a sub-2 ERA. You can't really beat that other than Ranger Suarez, which everybody knows Ranger's my guy. So, but with the negatives comes a positive. We get another series dub. I mean, the Phillies are just absolutely on fire right now. I believe we're on a 5-game win streak. I think our streak is coming back. I know we had like a 7-game and then we lost. Looking here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5-game win streak. So I mean, like we are very streaky right now, and I love it because I think last year we didn't have a lot of win streaks, and like I keep saying, this team just feels completely different. Like I know it's early, I know it's only May, but I really feel like we need to call off of work here, put in our days off, get ready for a parade, start learning how to climb poles, put some grease on some poles outside, start learning.
I love it, man, because that mentality gets me so excited as a fan. And you being a true fan, you know what I mean, that you are of the Phillies, you saying that gets me even more excited. 5-game win streak, like you just said. Very impressive baseball. It's not like, the Giants are necessarily a horrendous team. The Phillies, I think, are showing that they are built for this down the line. Not because of one player, not because of two players, because of the whole team. Like Star Wars just said earlier as well, we're doing great without Turner. The team is locked in right now. I'm getting ready. I got the broom in the other room, Shard, ready for another video tomorrow because that was the most annoying thing that people were saying in the beginning of the year. Oh, it was the Rockies. Oh, it was the White Sox. These aren't great teams. I think that the Giants I think the way that this team's been playing baseball the
I
past
want
week
to
is going to
touch.
shut a lot of people up.
I want to touch on that because, again, I had a TikTok that did really well over the weekend. I posted something about us being in first place, and what a lot of people were saying, a lot of Braves fans was, well, who have you played? So I mean, if you look at this, and I'm trying to pull it up now, Logan Webb. Okay, I don't care that we haven't played anybody. You look at the pitchers that we've played. Logan Webb finished second in Cy Young voting last season. He entered this game with a 2.98 season ERA, and he allowed just one home run. And he currently got his shit rocked by not by the Rockies, by the Phillies. We're not the Rockies. What? So I mean, like, I'm so tired of not getting the respect that I think the Phillies deserve. And I'm just tired of people saying that, like, oh, who have you played? Well, I mean, like, we don't make the schedule. It's like the whole season with the Eagles a couple of seasons ago. Oh, you have a cupcake schedule. Oh, you don't deserve to be here. We deserve to be here just as much as anybody else. And you got to win the games that are in front of you. And if you can't win the games, then sure, you can talk your shit. But if we're winning the games, then why are we still complaining?
Exactly. And if we're doing what we're supposed to be doing, like you and Ballpark Tommy have alluded to, what's wrong with that? I mean, you said yesterday they bent over the Giants. That was the most impressive game that they have played all season. So when are we going to get a pat on the back for that kind of stuff? I know that we will obviously give the team that, but MLB, you know what I mean? All these other companies, when are you going to give the Phillies their cake that they deserve? So shout out to the Phillies. I mean, they lock up the Series W tonight, at least going 3 for 4 wins. Tomorrow, like I said, that fucking broom in the other room is waiting for a TikTok. I'm going to be like a fucking witch, like riding it like a fucking bull if they somehow pull this off. Let's go Phillies.
You got to stop at like Party City, get yourself like a witch costume, paint your face green. What is it? The Wicked Witch of the West. You can have
oh my god.
You can have your dog be Toto, you know?
Oh my god, I could. Yeah, I could Alyssa's dog would actually be perfect for that. So yeah, stay tuned for that, guys. Maybe I'll have to suit up or have some fun because when the Phillies are playing well, we want to have some fun. I also think I was talking with Shard about it today, and shout out to Havens. If you guys don't know, Joey Havens is somebody who helps us out tremendously with our graphics backstage and stuff. But I was saying to them, I want to do a little 302 Birds night at a Phillies game upcoming. Let's get cheap tickets. Let's go on maybe a Monday night or something when tickets are affordable, guys. But let's try to figure out a night that we can all make it. Maybe do a little tailgate before, have some fun, get everybody together, and just have some fun. That's the main thing, because before we know it, like Eric said, it's going to be the postseason. You better get those days off ready. So let's make the memories throughout this season, because I do really think that this is going to be that season for the Phillies. 2024. So somebody's winning a championship this year, Shard. Kobe, 2024. I'm calling it.
Yeah, I mean, Kobe 2024. I mean, while you're on that, I mean, the whole like this kind of off topic for the Phillies, but the whole like Eagles mentality right now is like Kobe mentality. I don't know if you've been following a lot of the players, but like a
Mhm.
lot of them have been just like posting about like Kobe, and they're like, oh well, I have Kobe mentality. Like CJ, I think his number, he's what,
Is
8,
8. Yep.
right? So it wasn't that Kobe's. I don't follow
Yep,
basketball,
that was
but so
Kobe's
wasn't that
original
Kobe?
basketball number, and then he switched to 24. So it's like the OG Kobe. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, just like you don't really follow the Phillies all that much, I don't follow basketball.
Hell no. Yeah, I don't
So,
keep up with the Phillies enough. You
so
guys
I
should be
mean, like,
shocked that I got you this far into the show.
so I mean, like, yeah, I think honestly there is a championship coming. I just feel like really confident in this team right now, and I know it's only May. I know things can change, but like, a lot of the announcers, even on ESPN, I was surprised tonight because you guys know I absolutely I hate national broadcast. I hate it. I can't stand it. I can't stand the announcers. I can't stand the people that are outside of NBC Sports Philadelphia because I absolutely love Tom McCarthy. I absolutely love John Kruk. I met John Kruk at the City Connect reveal. Dude's an absolute stud. Absolute great guy. But even it surprised me because even they tonight were like, yeah, this Phillies team feels completely different. They were comparing it to the 2008 to 2011 team, where 2008 we went to the World Series, 2009 I believe we went back, but we lost. So I mean, like it has those vibes of a winning team, and I'm all for it.
I really think that the Phillies it's the same vibe that it was in 2008. Like when I saw I don't know if you saw the videos from the Derby of Jason Worth, the former Philadelphia Philly, getting compared to the WWE wrestler Edge. But if you have not, please look it up because it is hilarious. Then shout out to my boy Dan from Enterprise Sports. He got to interview him. So they're like interviewing him, and he basically asked me about the Edge thing, and he was super cool about it. But Jason Worth just reminded me so much of Brandon Marsh. Obviously, the hair is the main thing, that long, luscious locks. But hearing about the way that this guy played baseball, looking back to 2008, I hardly watch baseball now. So when the Phillies won the World Series in 2008, I was keeping up with it, but I really only knew offensive guys. I didn't keep up necessarily much with Worth and what he did in the outfield. So yeah, it was pretty interesting to see, and this team has a lot of personality, just like they did in 2008. I guess Utley was there, Victorino. They had an interesting team in 2008, and a lot of heart. Holiday. The list goes on and on. So I think that this could be the year that they had the same kind of squad. I mean, the rock band. Stay loose, stay sexy, Shard.
I mean, hey, if we have a parade down Broad Street, we need them to like dress up as like rock band. Have them dress up as like rockers and just go out on the front steps of the Rocky steps and just put on a concert. Get like a karaoke machine, start singing karaoke.
Woohoo! I'm all
But
for it, dude.
but yeah, I mean, and that kind of brings up another thing that I want to touch on. The other night it was, I think, Tom McCarthy when Stott was playing second. Tom McCarthy was like, yeah. He said, oh, what did he say? He called Stott Utley. I don't know if he caught that, but like right there in that moment, I was like, okay, this vibe is like definitely like the 2008 team. I was like, he's sitting here calling him Utley. It gives off those vibes that we're doing something this year. I really don't think that we're gonna be stopped come Red October.
I don't think so either, dude. I think that the way that they've talked about it all season two, they aren't going to be stopped. They've been stopped twice now. And it's like in their mind, they're like, fuck this. Like, we are breaking through this year. And anybody that's going to get in our way, we're seeking vengeance on. I love it. I love it.
Well, like they said in the what was it, the preseason video or something, whatever it's called. It was Stott, and he was like, "We've been at the door twice now, and it's been shut in our face, and now it's time to kick it down." So I completely agree. But to kind of get into the end of the show, The last thing I want to talk about, Harper's been kind of in a slump lately, and I think he's slowly starting to get back to his old self. He hit a 3-run bomb tonight. As soon as that pitch was thrown, which Harper loves those low pitches in the low zone. As soon as that pitch was thrown, I was like, yeah, this is this is gone. And you can tell when something's going yard just by the way it sounds coming off the bat. I don't know if you ever noticed that, Dolt, but like
the Giants home run tonight.
Yeah, I mean, there's a way that it sounds coming off the bat, and it either, if it's for our team, you're like, great, that's amazing, and then if it's for the other team, you're like, oh shit. So I think 2 home runs were let up tonight. I think it was I dozed off in the 7th inning. I'm not gonna lie, but I think it was one guy that this was his first home run in the majors, and then I can't think of who the other guy was. I'm blanking right now. But yeah, I mean, I think Harper's slowly getting back to what he was. I need him to kind
of
Strada, that's who it was. But I need Harper to kind of step up with Turner being out. I mean, our top 3 guys. Sorry, I had to sneeze there.
Bless you.
Didn't want to sneeze on camera, but yeah, I need the top 3 guys to start producing. It shouldn't be up to Bohm, Marsh, sometimes Rojas. Harper's been kind of on a cold streak lately, and I want to pull up his stats just to double check and make sure. But yeah, I mean, he's only getting 1 hit per game lately, or no hits at all. Whereas normally he's getting anywhere between 2 to 3 hits a game. And I think tonight it really got him going. I think him having his family around, because they celebrated Mother's Day a week early, because they're away next week. I think him just having his family around kind of got that going for him. So family, on the other hand, Liam, school's almost done. Buddy, I need you at the stadium every night. Need to see you running around every night like you were last season. Tell your dad. He needs to step his shit up.
We will somehow figure out tickets for little Casty to be there every night, because that is essential, my man. You're 100% right.
I think they pay for tickets. I think he just goes in with his dad.
And nobody's gonna stop him. That's the best part about Philadelphia. But you're 100% right, Shard. There's something different about dad strength. There's something different about. Can we put Liam in left field? I love that comment from Sam Nelson. Maybe Liam can go hang out there. I mean, Casty's pretty good at field, so he closed it out tonight. He has his errors here and there. I think where more people get frustrated with Casty is obviously behind the plate. But as far as Harper goes, and Schwarber and Turner was doing great before he left. I hear what you're saying. You want to see the guys that you're paying the most amount of money to perform. You want to see these guys literally step up to the plate. But no, I want to see Bryce Harper take command of this team. Not just in the postseason, not just in the regular season, throughout the whole year. I'm not saying you got to have a home run every game or something, ridiculous like that. But you can't go in these slumps as often as you are, especially with the talks of the new contract, like you were saying in the summertime. So my hope is that B-Harp gets it together, because I do ultimately want to give Bryce Harper that contract. I mean, off the field, he's everything you want in a player. He's at Flyers games with his kids. He goes to the supermarket by himself. He's not shy. He's just a great dude. That's what you want in Philadelphia. That's what you want, setting an example for the next generation of kids, of people, of human beings. I hope that Bryce Harper's back, because I want to give Bryce Harper this contract that he deserves. But he's got to be back to get that contract. He's got to play well. He's got to show that it's Bryce Harper's team, not the daycare's team, not Kyle Schwarber's team, not Trey Turner's team, Bryce Harper's team.
Yeah, and I mean, like Sam Nelson said, can we put Liam in right field? I mean, Liam played bat boy in spring training. I mean, you were there in Clearwater.
Yeah, that is true.
I'm sure you saw him playing bat boy a game or two. So, I mean, you could always have him be bat boy.
I had a
But
couple rum runners. I didn't even know that he was there until you said it, to be honest with you. So if I would have known that, that might have been bad too, because I would have been screaming. We were sitting in the berm,
yeah,
which spring training, man.
I
Let me
watched
just
that
say
whole
real quick. If you
what?
guys, you did?
I watched that whole pod. So if you guys haven't watched it, go watch it because it's a really good watch.
Thank you. That made my night. I appreciate you. But yeah, if you haven't gone yet, guys, go. And maybe next year you'll be able to come with us. We'll try to get a trip. We were saying either that, the draft, or both. But it was a really cool experience and actually relatively affordable because I drove. So yeah, we should definitely all talk about going next year because it'll be a fun guy trip. And I have a place where we can probably stay for free too. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Yeah. But the whole thing that I want to touch on, before we close out with Harper is I need them to kind of get in the habit of hitting the short ball compared to the long ball. I think they kind of focus too much on the long ball right now. Kyle's kind of gotten better at that with hitting the short ball. He's getting singles and doubles, and he looks like an absolute speed demon on the bases. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but looks completely different compared to last year. So that's honestly kind of exciting. But to kind of close out, I want to see if anybody has some hot takes in the comments. So if you have a hot take, go ahead and drop it. I'm going to drop mine for tonight that I have. And don't, if you want to drop yours, any hot takes you have. But I think my hot take for tonight, honestly, my hot take is that we're going to be sitting at number 1 for the next 2-3 weeks. I don't think that, honestly, there's any reason for us to get out of the number 1 spot in the division for the next 2-3 weeks.
Okay. I'm thinking about mine right now. I don't know where Marsh is at right now, and I know that he started out hot. Do you know his home run tracker where he's at? He's definitely not bad either. He's definitely not too far behind to where he should be, but he's not keeping up to par of where he was.
Right now, home run wise, he's at 6.
Okay, yeah, not even close. What's Bomer at? Is he at more?
Alec Boehm, he's at
Probably like 7 or 8.
He's at 4. So I mean, Marsh is ahead of him.
Yeah, so it doesn't feel like the Phillies. I wanted to say we'll have a Philly in the home run derby, but fuck it. I won't give you guys a specific name. I'll say somebody gets really hot and gets their shit together, and we'll have one Philadelphia Philly in the home run derby this year. Maybe somebody gets it together. Maybe Shorebro will step up to the plate. June is only a month away, but hope so.
Yeah, I mean, sorry, I got another sneak.
Bless you in advance, no worries. But
yeah, I mean, kind of to elaborate on that, I think honestly, come All-Star time, I think we're gonna have a couple All-Stars, like we said last night, me and Brendan. I think we're gonna have a couple All-Stars on the team. I think right now for me, it's between honestly Alec Boehm. I mean, that's kind of the obvious. Ranger Suarez is your starting pitcher. Again, that's obvious. If you want to have Turnbull come up for a reliever position, have him come up. That's 3 right there. And I think, honestly, to kind of end it out, I think, honestly, you can throw Marsh in there as well. I think Marsh is doing well also. So that's 4 guys that you could have on your all-star team, kind of like when the Royals were whooping ass a couple years ago and, like, the entire all-star team was Royals. I could see the entire team being made up of Phillies. So, I mean, we'll see. But like Sam Nelson said here, my hot take, always take Walker out after 6 innings. I completely agree with you. Right when he hits 6 innings, take him out. Goodbye. Go back to the bullpen. You're bum. So,
I love Jason Greens. Can we pull up Jason Greens? I'll pull it up. Is Ranger a Cy Young candidate? I love this. I would say yes. You have the 2 biggest Ranger supporters probably in the world right here, in me and Shard. I know Shard's a big fan. I'm a huge fan too. I would say, yeah, with the way that he's playing this year, I would love to see him go out and get that award for the Philadelphia Phillies. You're muted, Shard.
Of course I'm muted. Why wouldn't I be? But yeah, I think like Brendan said last night, Brendan said if Ranger gets a sub ERA of 2 at the end of the season, he's going to go get a tattoo. So I really, really hope that happens because that would be kind of cool. I think that would set the 302 Birds community ablaze. So, I mean, like, yeah, I honestly, I think we were saying if we had to estimate, he probably has maybe like between 20 to 25 more starts for the year, depending on the whole rotation situation. So, I mean, if he can keep it sub 2, tattoo on Brendan's coming everybody's way.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned. That would be great. You gotta love this guy on Twitch asking which of us can burp louder. I would probably say I'm pretty undermined at burping because I drink a lot of like Pepsi. So I might surprise you, but I appreciate you actually watching on Twitch because you might be the first person ever blowing off the Twitch of our Dust account. So I do appreciate you, brother. I can't burp on command, unfortunately. I think the only pitcher better than Ranger in the league is Amanga. What do you think of this, Shard?
So Shota Amanga, he plays for the Cubs. And I've kind of been following him for a couple weeks now because he's the best pitcher right now in all of baseball. And I think Ranger is kind of right behind him. So Shota Amanga, and I hope I'm saying that name right. Every time he goes out, he has a sub 1 ERA. A sub 1. His last start was against the Mets, which is the fucking Mets. I mean, look at what happened today with the Mets. They were up.
The Mets.
They were up in the 10th inning 6-5, and then they let up a 2-run double and they lose. So I mean, like, you know, it's the fucking Mets. But anyway, they played May 1st against the Mets. Imanja had a 0.78 ERA. He played the 26th against the Red Sox, had a 0.98 ERA. He played the 20th against the Marlins, had a 0.78 ERA, and his ERA right now is at a 0.78. So I mean, like, I don't know when we play the Cubs. I'd have to look. I'm really worried when we play this guy because he's a Japanese player. Japanese players are usually really, really good. Usually, there's a few rare occasions where, you know, sometimes them transitioning from the Japanese league to the Phillies league, the MLB, them transitioning from Japanese to MLB is kind of a weird thing for them just to get used to. But I mean, this guy came in and is absolutely dealing right now. So I'm kind of worried when we play the Cubs that we might get our shit rocked.
It's going to be good competition. Like I said earlier in the show, Shard, back to tie it all home. Any competition is good competition. I just want to say shout out really quick to you, Billy. I would love to meet you at a Phillies game. Stay tuned by following us on Instagram if you haven't, Billy, at 302 Birds. We announce every time that we're going to a Phillies game where we're sitting, where you can meet up with us tailgate-wise, everything. So that's the best place to stay connected.
Yeah, I think once, you know, everybody's kind of once summertime rolls around, I think we're going to be more flexible to do meetups and stuff, especially with the whole squad. So we'll see what happens.
Oh, yeah.
To kind of close out, Phillies win 5-4. They have another game against the Giants tomorrow. It's one of those stupid 4-game series, which I absolutely hate. But we won the series anyway, so I mean, I can't really complain there. If we win tomorrow, I think tomorrow's like a 4-10 start. So if we win tomorrow, it's another sweep. So we'll see. But appreciate you, Sam. Great show. Great having you here. You know, love having
Sam,
you.
let me know if we can get you on 302 Birds this week. Shoot me a message. Sorry, I don't want to interrupt you, Eric, but you've been great supporting us on all of our shows, Sam. So I want to return the favor. So if you want to come on the show this week, man, let me know. We'd love to have you.
Yeah, but to kind of close out, you know what was said last night, Dolt?
What?
Talking about the fans here. The